In a previous video, we did A, B, C, D. I'll leave that in the description just in case if you don't know what that video is. But we're going to do E right now. So ln plus ln of x plus 2 equals 4. Now, when you're adding logs, right, ln just stands for the natural log. Ln really just means log with a base of e, right? That's just a constant. E is just a constant, just like pi is a constant. I don't exactly know the full value of E, but it's like 2 point something. I almost never remember these things, but all right. But that's what ln really stands for. So if the same rules follow for logs, and if you don't know the laws of logarithms, well, I guess I'll have to leave another link in the description. But let's look at this. So ln of that, when you're adding, it's the same thing as multiplying. So that just means x times x plus 2, right? You could combine them by writing it as a multiplication like that, is equal to 4. Now, remember what I said. This is just log with a base of e. So we could rewrite this as e to the 4th, right? It's always the base to this number is equal to the thing inside of here. Now, I'm not going to write it out like that. I'm actually going to distribute that x. So that's really x squared, right? X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Now, this is not very pretty. It's a quadratic, so let's get it equaling 0. I'm going to minus e to the 4 on both sides. So get 0 is equal to x squared plus 2x minus e to the 4th. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the quadratic formula. So that's x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now, if you're wondering how on earth I remember that, that's because I have a tattoo to my arm. I'm kidding. I actually don't, but maybe I should. So let's see. B is this number right here. So that's really just negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4. A is 1 because that's just a number in front of this x. And C is this number. C is negative e to the 4th. Okay. Over 2 times 1, which is just 2. All right, so let's see what this simplifies to. Negative 2 plus or minus all of that over 2. This thing is 4. Now, I know that minus and then negative, they cancel out, so that kind of becomes a plus. 4e to the 4th. Okay, now I see we have a 4 in there. What we could do is we could factor out that 4. So that's negative 2 plus or minus the square root. I'm factoring out the 4. So that would be 1 plus e to the 4th. And if you don't understand that factoring there, just look at it as I'm trying to find the thing that goes in here such that when I distribute this 4, I'm going to get back this thing. So like 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times e to the 4th is e to the 4th, right? Because they had a 4 in common, I just divided everything by 4. That's really what I did. And why would I do that? Well, because now I could kind of split this up into, just continue it down here, right? Negative 2 plus or minus the square root. Oops, they see, no, that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to write that big square root because I'm going to split it up. Square root of 4 times the square root. You could split square roots up like that once they are being multiplied. Like this thing is being multiplied by that whole thing. 1 plus e to the 4th, all of that over 2. Now, why did I do that? Because the square root of 4 is just 2. So I could divide every single thing here by 2. 2 into 2 is 1. 2 into 2 is 1. And don't forget it's a negative there. And this is really just a number 2. So 2 into 2 is just 1. So let's see. We have negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 plus e to the fourth, all of that over 1, so I don't have to actually write the over 1. Now, here's the thing. This is your final answer, but remember we cannot take the log of a negative. So if I were to ignore the plus, right, and just look at the negative version of this, you get -1 minus that. I don't care what number this is. If I'm minusing it from -1, I will end up with a negative number. So you cannot take the ln of a negative number. So what I'm trying to say is we reject the negative answer and we only take the positive one. Right? And how do I know that this is going to be positive? Well, this is 1 plus something. And we know the square root of 1 is 1. So the square root of more than 1 will mean more than 1. So when you add it to this -1, you should get a positive number, right? Which would mean that you could take the ln of it. And that's all, folks.